Welcome to Graffiti Royale's Guide to Life, a podcast where the three of us talk about new music releases, what's going on in the industry, life hacks, and everything in between. Follow our band on all streaming sites and social media. Just search Graffiti Royale. And now, on to the episode. Welcome to Graffiti Royale's Guide to Life, episode 6. This is our first episode of the new year.
Hey, yeah, 2024.
Yeah.
Ready.
How's the new year treating you guys so far?
It's good, man. Yeah. What day are we? 19 days into the new year, but
Yeah, I can't believe it.
it's kind of already cruising by super quickly, but it's been good. I mean, in Utah, we've been getting a lot of snow, so doing a bunch of snowboarding, and it's just been nice. And yeah, no complaints.
Nice, man. Sounds like a good start to the year. How about you, Quez?
Yeah.
Pretty good, man. A lot of working, which is good. 19 days of no drinking. Dry January. I'm feeling good.
Hey.
I'm very proud of myself. So let's see how long I can continue this.
Nice, man. So for this podcast, because this is primarily a music podcast, and I thought it'd be cool to kind of check in with you guys about the Grammys coming up, and just like see who you're excited about, who you're not so excited about, who you may feel is deserving, who's not deserving. And I just, respect your guys' music taste a lot. So I'm just really curious to hear some of your thoughts and opinions. So anyway, I'll just go over a couple just Grammy facts before we get into it to kind of set the stage, and then we can kind of jump into some of this stuff. Mm-hmm. So it's the 66th annual Grammys. It's happening on February 4th at the Crypto.com Arena in LA. Trevor Noah is going to be the host. SZA has 9 nominations. Phoebe Bridgers, Victoria Monet both have 7. Miley Cyrus, Taylor Swift, Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo, Brandy Clark, John Batiste, and Jack Antonoff have 6. So those are kind of some of the big hitters, some of the stars of this year's Grammy, the biggest names. And we can kind of get into some of what those are in a second. But before we do, I thought it'd just kind of be cool to hear some of your favorites, who you're really excited about, because those are the biggest categories. But if you kind of get a little bit further into the list, there's some really cool artists who have been nominated. I don't want to say for some of the lesser Grammys, but some of the more obscure ones. And not that your answers have to be in that category, but just, yeah, I'm just curious to hear what you guys think.
This is a fun one because I think so often throughout the year, I just I don't get into the music industry and all the traditional, albums or quote unquote popular albums and artists and songs. So I think this was nice to just kind of get plugged into that again and discover music that people have been talking about that I haven't really dug into yet. But I think going through all the different nominations, I think the one that stood out to me the most, or one of them, was Fred again in the best new artist category. I've been really enjoying his music that he's been putting out recently, really just kind of cool electronic producer music. And also along the way with those singles, he's been introducing me to some new artists that I've never heard of, Abong Jahar, which was on his single Adore You, and this other artist called Jazzy on one of his last singles, 10. So, and he's kind of popping off on social media with a lot of TikTok posts and Instagram stuff, and I'm really excited about that one. I think Ice Spice in that category was also a no-brainer too, because she definitely, it seems broke through this year, as did Jelly Roll, which I've been kind of digging. Jelly Roll is a pretty compelling story, so I've been really kind of following him somewhat closely. And then I think my favorite one, which was a total surprise, was all the way down at the bottom. Was the best remixed recordings, and it was Bad Bad Not Good remixed a band called Turnstile's song, which is called Alien Love Call. And so Turnstile's a band I've been getting into over the last year. Have been familiar with Bad Bad Not Good, and Bad Bad Not Good put out an EP of 3 of Turnstile's songs that they kind of redid. And Alien Love Call was completely a standout for me. So I've been listening to that a bunch. So it was kind of trippy to go down and see all this popular music and all these artists that I've heard before, and then find that in kind of tucked away. It was a little I don't know. It was very surprising to see that, but I was really stoked to see it. So
yeah, that's cool, man. Bad Bad Not Good is they're so awesome, and it's cool to see that they've been recognized by the Academy. How about you, Quez?
Yeah, kind of the same thing as Alec. I really don't get into much when it comes to when it comes to the music industry. I don't really get into much the back end stuff or Grammys and awards, anything like that. I really don't pay too much attention. So this was kind of interesting to me to kind of look into it and see the work that these artists have put in, and then how they being recognized for it at the Grammys, which is dope. For me, a big one was like Ice Spice. Being a New York Bronx native, I could relate to that. Just to see someone from my hometown kind of get recognized in this big of a caliber is amazing to see. Even though I don't listen to her music like that, but it's still dope to see. It's still amazing to celebrate. So I'm really excited for that. Just like the best new artist category in general, like Fred again, like Alex said, Victoria Manette, which we talked about a couple episodes ago, like super dope. I'm super excited for her. I'm also very excited for the rap album category, like Heroes and Villains. Metro Boomin's album was really dope. Her Laws, as we know, 21 Savage and Drake, that was super cool. So I'm excited to see who wins that. One that was really interesting, there was two of them that was really interesting to me, was the music films, which was like the Kendrick Lamar Big Stepper concert. I don't know if you guys got to check. I think, Alec, you actually went to the concert, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. They have like a film on that, which I saw on Amazon. And that was like pretty cool, just like the whole show. It was very impactful. And then the best African music performance. So sick. As you know, like Tyla, she's been killing it with the song Water.
Dude, that song is so good.
Oh, so dope.
Super. Yeah.
So dope. Burna Boy, as we all know, he's an amazing artist overall. And DeVito with the song Unavailable. I remember when that song came out, I jumped right on it because it was so good. And I remember Chris Brown, because they got to like dance to it, to the actual song. So Chris Brown jumped on it immediately and it kind of like blew up. But yeah, no, I'm super excited for these Grammys. This is like kind of different from what I'm used to seeing before.
Yeah. I feel similar to you guys. Like I go some years where I get into the Grammys and some years where I don't get into the Grammys. You think it's just a bunch of these big artists, but then you start getting into the lists and you start like I started discovering artists, like going through this kind of like prompt to check out like who's nominated this year. And then also to discover that some of my favorite artists that I never thought would be nominated for Grammy are on the list. Like there's an artist named Emily King. I don't know if you guys have heard of her. She's a New York native. And she's just like an indie soul, like singer songwriter. And she had this hit song called Distance back in the day that I got really into. But then like looking into it, I saw that she's actually been nominated for 4 Grammys already. And she's never won. But she was nominated for Best R&B Album of the Year this year. Her album Special Occasion. And so I'm just like really rooting for her. I hope that she finally gets a Grammy win. I feel like she's really deserving of it. So I'm excited for that. I'm excited for Jaguar 2, of course. Victoria Monette, like big fan. She's also nominated for Best New Artist, also nominated for Record of the Year. I feel like the song off her album that's getting all the recognition, On My Mama, is a really good song. I don't feel like it's the strongest song on that album. So I'm a little disappointed to not see my favorite song, which is Goodbye, nominated for anything. But at the end of the day, like it's so cool to see her get the accolades and like the shine and the props that she deserves. So really excited about that. And then I'm also really excited about the Best Dance Electronic category. I think there's like some really cool nominations within that category. I think my favorite song for the best recording is Higher Than Ever Before by Disclosure. Disclosure is just like a cool duo to me. I've been getting more and more into them over these last couple of years. I think they have really cool taste, cool music sensibility, especially as a DJ. They're just like so fun to pop on. And so I'm really excited about them. And then there's a bunch of other like little ones, like even Old Crow Medicine Show. They got nominated for best folk album. And that's just like, they're just such like a vibe, you know, they just put you in this like little countryside, like fun bootlegging vibe. Those are the good ones. And that kind of brings me to my next question, which is there any artists, any nominations that you guys saw that you're a little bit like, I don't know if they actually like deserve this, or, you know, and like, this is outside of like bias towards artists, but just, you know, based on like the art itself, you know, because I feel like some of these nominations, in my opinion, and this probably happens every year, are almost more based on like name recognition, numbers, and the nominations can feel a little bit lazy and uninspired, and quite frankly just like, let's nominate this person because it's like they're a safe artist to nominate, and you know, it could make the Academy look good to nominate them. They might not be totally tapped in to the music industry or the general music zeitgeist. So there's a lot of reasons why I feel like nominations can be, I don't know, less than we're hoping for. But I digress, and I just want to kind of hear what you guys think.
I don't think it's nothing that I'm like don't disagree with. This might sound crazy to say, but I feel like Billie Eilish and Taylor Swift dominate the Grammys every year. And I would like for them to like kind of move over a little bit and let others, you know, let other artists shine. Again, that's not their fault. Their music is that good and they have so big of a fan base that they, you know, they exude that energy and, you know, they work hard for these Grammys, but it's just they dominate every year and they kill every category every year and they win the most every year. So it's like, to me, it's just like, all right, like every time I see Billie Eilish or Taylor Swift in a category, I'm like, okay, we already know who's going to win that, you know? So, but again, salute to those women, salute to women in the Grammys, salute to women winning Grammys. That's awesome. It's beautiful. That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
And I you know, I'm here for it. But yeah, I would like to see other women in music kind of get some shine as well.
Yeah, I agree with that, man. I think just to start, like Grammys are fun to watch, but it's still at the end of the day like kind of ridiculous a little bit. Like it's all very PC. Like to your point, Quez, it doesn't seem like the Academy is super plugged in. They're just going for kind of the low hanging fruit of like streaming numbers and publicity and things like that. With that said, do I want us to get nominated for one? Absolutely. 100%. You know, and I think it's amazing for other artists to get nominated for one. But I think it's hard for me to like disagree too much with any of those nominees, because if I was in their shoes, I'd be like, fuck you. I worked hard for this.
100%.
You know, so there still there's a huge like barrier to entry on these things. So it's like, there's nothing I really strongly disagree with, but yeah, to your point, Quez, like I've tried to get into Billie Eilish. I've tried to get into Taylor Swift. I've tried to get into, you know, some of these other ones that just tend to clean up so consistently at like award shows, and I just can't do it. Like, I just don't. It's just personally. Whenever I see Billie Eilish on the list, I'll like check out a song and I'm like I understand it, but like why? You know what I mean? Like, is it the song? Is it the movement that she's creating? Is it her demographic? I mean, it's all those things wrapped up together, but I'd like it to be a little bit more music focused and less noise out, like external to the music. For example, one album that I kind of dug this year quite a bit was the Danny Brown JPEG Mafia album that came out.
Red house with a shot of repeat. While you stretching and tweaking your tweets, I've been stretching your girl iron sheet. What's the deets? In the crib, chicken soiling for weeks. Watch your energy, watch what you tweet. You can go from Eli to Ye to weed, but
I was surprised. Like that got I think that got a good bit of buzz in like the inner circles, but it didn't. I don't think it got on anything. No. And then you think about that, and the album's called "Scaring the Hose," and just the idea of like CBS or the Academy being like, and now for best rap album, you know, like "Scaring the Hose" by Danny Brown and JPEG. That's never going to happen, you know. So I think there's always going to be a level of kind of disconnect in that regard, but.
Like they play it, like you're saying, they play it safe.
I think they play it too safe. Yeah, I mean, there was nothing that I looked over that I was like, oh wow, like outside of maybe the Bad Bad Not Good one, and there was nothing that was like adventurous. There wasn't like an adventurous nominee or anything like that. And there were other albums that I loved this year. Like I know I talked about Tesseract before in the metal category, and like that's an amazing album to me that deserves acclaim and deserves recognition. You know, and that's it. I mean, they were I think they're part of the Orchard, and the Orchard has like this list of like, I want to say it's like 100 albums that they released within the last year that are like quote unquote up for Grammy nominee. but they don't get to the actual official nominee section on the Grammys.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know. That's just kind of my quick spiel.
There's some great points right there, Alec. So I was researching, a lot of these songs came out, like 2022, 2023, correct?
Yeah, I think the cutoff date was like October or November 2022. Yeah.
Okay. So I was very surprised to not see Bad Bunny on here because he had such a great summer in like 2022. I'm not sure if he meet the cutoff or not, but I feel like he was killing it. But I don't know if that counts in like separate like Latin Grammys kind of thing, or is he a part of these kind of Grammys? But I feel like he's been transitioning very well between both genres of music and both like languages, collabing with a lot of artists that's on here today. I was surprised to not see not even a feature or anything on there from him.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I know there is a Latin music Grammy section, and he has been killing it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, so the cutoff for, I guess I should have looked in this more further, but the cutoff for this year's Grammys was back in 2022?
Yeah, I think the cutoff is like the end of the previous year for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah, I looked that up because I saw that the Taylor Swift album that's nominated for Album of the Year was released in 2022, and I was like, what the heck? But it was like end of the year 2022.
Got it.
Which
okay
somehow qualifies.
Yeah. So in that case, then
Maybe they
it
changed the
wouldn't make
rules
sense.
for Taylor Swift.
No, probably. No. So I guess just to clarify, that wouldn't make sense for Danny Brown's album to get on there then.
Yeah. And then the one album that I really thought like should have been on this list that I feel like got like a little snubbed by the Grammys is an album that I know that we all love, which was the Lil Yachty album that came out last year.
Bro,
Which
I was just about to say that.
really?
Yeah.
In the dark, my secrets hide. Few more drops of water on top. A night too long, I can't be undone. Heads fine. Meanwhile, you're done. Had a little too much fun.
Yeah, I feel like that album is one of the best intersections of like psychedelic rock and hip hop I've ever heard.
Dude,
And
so
I don't
good.
know how that isn't on any list here. It could fit in so many different categories. So it's just
That's so true. Yeah.
a little mind-boggling.
Wow. And he's not up for anything, yeah?
When did that come out? Let me see. January 27, 2023.
Yeah.
So he probably passed the cutoff because the cutoff was 2023, right? October?
I think 2022, October.
Okay.
I think the time period in which you can release an album, I think it's within the entire year plus the additional months of the previous year.
Gotcha. Okay.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like not October to October.
Gotcha. Yeah, but that's crazy that Lil Yachty didn't get not even one for that.
That was such a great album.
Right? If I was him, I'd
Yeah.
be like, what is going on? This is a masterpiece.
Nothing that I disagree with, but as far as what I agree with or what I like, there was one standout to me. Like Nas, for example, to your point earlier, Quez, about just being like a New York native, like his music recently has just flown under the radar for me. Like I haven't listened to much of his music in the last couple of years, but then song that King's Disease 3 was nominated for Rap Album of the Year. Prompted me to listen to it over the last couple of weeks, and dude, it's a good album. Have you guys listened to it at all? Like,
Yeah,
I felt
yeah,
that was
check it
such a
out.
true to like return to form, good hip hop. It made me excited and want to just listen to more Nas. And I feel like I'm kind of pulling for him to win that one, just given the legacy status. And I don't know.
Dude, yeah. I would love to see him win that, again, being a New York native, bring it back home. But it's kind of tough when you see artists like Drake on there, Metro Boomin, Travis Scott with Utopia, which I wasn't a big fan of Utopia. But yeah, I would love to see Nas take that. He deserves it. He's a legend. He's done so much for the culture, for the history of hip hop. Yeah, and I think he deserves this one, man. He definitely deserves this one.
Has he ever won a Grammy? Do you know?
I believe he did.
Also, do you guys think Drake's music is good for shopping?
Dude,
Only at Target.
Cartier.
Yeah.
Dude. I didn't. I
Does he play at Gucci? Do people like
I
to
was-
buy stuff?
I was so ashamed of Mos Def Yasin Bey for that comment, man. I would not think that like he would step to that, like down to that, or like I didn't expect that he would like talk like that or think like that. Because to say that about Drake, like Drake has done so much for hip hop. You can't say he isn't hip hop.
Yeah.
I guess everybody got their own opinion, but like I feel like Drake has been one of the best artists to like be able to tap into different kind of genres of music like R&B, hip hop, rap, Spanish, and do it so seamlessly, so well. And when he taps into the rap hip hop side of his thing, it's like incredible. Like the last joint that he just dropped, Scary Hours 3, mind blowing. Such a good EP. Red Button is amazing. Like for him to say he's not hip hop was kind of crazy to me. I was like, come on, Mos Def.
Yeah,
Come on.
it's almost just that's always gonna like exist. I feel like you have the old school versus the new school, and they're
Yeah.
always gonna have beef with each other.
Right.
Like that's just to me like an old hip hop dude. That's like not a great way to sum up him at all.
Right,
But
right.
he's just such an icon and a legend
Oh, dude,
from
yeah.
the older school. That's just like talking shit about the new
Yeah.
school.
Mhm.
That's kind of how I kind of see it. You know?
Mhm.
It
Yeah.
sounds petty though, man. It
Yeah.
sounds petty.
Yeah,
It's
it
like,
does sound petty.
Yeah.
like be happy for Drake.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
there's so many other things to talk shit about in this world.
Right.
Yeah.
I
Or
think
maybe
Drake
he needs
replied
more
back.
relevancy. Maybe he wants to like talk shit, and just so people are going to talk about his name a little bit more. Maybe he's
Maybe.
getting ready to release an album or a single.
Yeah.
He's trying to stir up some buzz. Like
Which kind of goes against his brand though. Like,
It
I don't
does, yeah.
think about Mos Def as like a
100%.
shit talker. I think about him as like a really like spiritual guy.
mhm.
You know, like a
Maybe this is his new artist side. Now he's a shit talker. 2024, baby.
All right, 6ix9ine.
Mos Def becomes a troll in 2024.
Oh,
man.
but
What's
back
this
to
world
Nas.
coming
Back to Nas. He's been nominated for 16 Grammys and won his first one in 2021
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah. for his 13th studio album, King's Disease.
Mm.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
King's Disease 1. Wow.
They snubbed him 15 times.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Wow,
crazy.
wow. Would you guys
Well-
put Drake in? Speaking of Drake, would you? Because as your initial comment around like your Taylor Swifts and your Billie Eilish's, would you put Drake in that category as well?
I don't think so. I don't feel like he sweeps as much as like Taylor Swift and Billie Eilish, Olivia Rodrigo,
Mhm.
even sometimes Ariana Grande. I feel like
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like
true.
them four ladies, they have the pop culture on lock. And if you're coming out in pop, you got to get through them. If you're not winning this.
Yeah.
Like even going through this, like doing some research on some of these questions, I also realized how much TikTok has an influence in the Grammys and how the Grammys pick these musics and how big music, the culture of music in TikTok, how big it is. Because a lot of these songs that's on there, they're huge on TikTok. Huge songs on TikTok where a lot of the young demographic, they make videos over, they like, catch them dancing over it or singing over it. Like they have such a huge impact on TikTok. So I feel like that's another reason why, they have it on lock, dude. Billie Eilish have TikTok on a chokehold.
Yeah, that's true, man. That's a really good point.
So I
It's like
wonder,
just continued dominance in the music
Right.
industry from TikTok. Yeah.
yeah, I feel like TikTok is a new radio, kind of in a sense. If your music, back in the day, if your music was in every radio station, that was considered a successful record,
Mhm.
Now, I guess, depending on how big it is on TikTok and what kind of like impact it has on TikTok, then that's considered a big record,
Mm-hmm. That's a really good point.
'Cause that's the first time I heard a Tyler Water song was on TikTok. Everybody like pouring water over themselves, and
What a great trend.
and I was like, wait, what?
Stay
the hell's
hydrated,
going on?
people.
Right, right. And I was like, wait, what's going on here? And then that's when I found Tyler, and I was like, oh, this is such a great song, you know?
That's so true. It's like, yeah, that begs the question, like, man, how do we, for our music, right, for graffiti, like, how do we get a little taste of virality on TikTok and get any one of our songs kind of hitting up a little bit? But
Yeah.
I've been noticing too, like on like promotional companies that were primarily doing maybe like Spotify playlist kind of pitching and like PR and stuff like that. They're starting to add like the TikTok piece to it. Even Submit Hub has a TikTok submission now. I feel like that's maybe a little bit older news, but where you can like obviously pay to have them kind of like try to get your music into the TikTok world and have it circulating, which is interesting, but maybe something we can try. I don't know.
I mean, it's kind of crazy to think about, like the fact that TikTok could go away too. You know, like someone's always trying to get rid of it, you know, for like national security reasons. And there's like a real chance that it could just vanish, you know, which is, it's like interesting to have it like so incorporated into into the music industry, knowing that could happen. Yeah. But that's a good point. It's a good point. And I wonder how much of that comes into play when these people are nominating Grammys, you know, figuring that out.
I mean, speaking of social media and like TikTok and all that, like I know we've talked quite a bit about Doja Cat, but she's up for a few things on this, which is cool. Like, I think she's up for best solo performance, best melodic rap performance, best rap song, which is awesome. Like, I kind of hope she wins one, man. I was thinking more about Doja Cat recently, like, and while I maybe not like super resonate with her music, I so respect her artistry. Like, she creates like a feel, a vibe, a persona, and music to go behind that, and she does it so well. And that needs to be like rewarded, man, because like that level of artistry you don't see very often. I don't know. So I'm hoping she gets one this year.
No, that's a good point. Yeah, I was really excited to see Attention nominated. I feel like that song is so good. Yeah.
Yo, salute to women in music, dude.
Yeah.
Fucking salute to women in music. I feel like they've been dominating lately, and I love to see it. I fucking love to see it. I love to talk about it. I love to hear it. Super dope. You know, especially, you know, hip hop and just like music entirely. The business has been men dominating for so long. So it's super cool to see women get a chance to speak and show their true artistry. And look, it's killing it. They're fucking killing it, dude. I love it.
And just to piggyback off that, dude, like I'm not a huge country fan, but I feel like country is also a genre that's been like so populated with like men and boys, but I feel shout out to the dude in Walmart that was yodeling. What was his name?
Something Ramsey.
Yes, Mason Ramsey. But there's an artist called Lainey Wilson. I don't know if you guys heard of her. We got to cut in and get that video and just play it right now.
Beautiful dream. I had to like it all over. I lost my heart, it seems. I've grown so used to you somehow. Lord, I'm nobody's sugar daddy now, and I'm lonesome. I got the lovesick blues.
Shout out to my yodelers. Where's the yodeling category in the Grammys? Come on, right?
Cool. Yeah. So Lainey Wilson, she's not super new to the country scene, but she's been getting a lot of like publicity recently. She's been on like podcasts and been listening to her music a little bit this year. And she's got like such an old school feel and sound to her, even though she's younger, right? She's in like I think her early 30s. But I was stoked to see her up for Country Album of the Year, actually.
Yeah.
And she had a country duo nominee too with Jelly Roll, which was I think is awesome as well. But that's just shout out to women, period.
Right.
To women,
and Brandy Carlisle, you know, is up for Grammy. Also, Casey Musgraves.
I love Casey
Yeah,
Musgraves.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah,
I saw Lana Del Rey too.
yeah,
Yeah.
dude, they're dominating.
They're
Women are
killing it.
dominating this year. Love to
Love
see
it.
it.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Yeah.
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 And for good reasons. Like it's just like very innovative music. Like
Yeah.
yeah. So
In no way are they shoo-ins. You know?
yeah.
Like it's yeah. So
Yeah, so that actually is a good segue to the next section. Like speaking of just like the biggest heavy hitters this year and like, you know, the big 4 categories: record of the year, album of the year, song of the year, best new artist of the year, all dominated by women. I'll just go through record of the year first, and then maybe we can make some predictions. So we've got Worship by John Batiste, Vampire, Olivia Rodrigo, Not Strong Enough, Boy Genius, Antihero, Taylor Swift, Flowers, Miley Cyrus, Kill Bill, SZA, What Was I Made For, Billie Eilish, On My Mama by Victoria Monet. I'm just curious, like from a personal standpoint, which one you guys vibe with the most, if any, and then like a follow-up question or follow-up prediction, like which one do you think realistically will win? So Alec, I'll go to you first.
I think out of that bunch, I think Worship was probably my favorite out of the bunch. And I'm also pretty new to John Batiste. That's how you pronounce his last name, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I've been really enjoying like listening to his music. I don't think that's gonna win, but that's probably my favorite from just like a listening to all these songs. Man, I could see Flowers winning by Miley Cyrus, and I could see, I mean, Taylor Swift says whatever. I mean, I kind of hope Flowers is kind of wins this, or Worship. I thought the Boy Genius song was pretty good, but like nothing super stand out to me. Like I thought it was just like a really catchy, kind of like lo-fi indie sounding track that was like hooky and catchy and well done, but didn't super stand out to me like I think Flowers did, because I haven't heard Miley Cyrus do something like that before, and also it just got stuck in my head like a motherfucker. So.
Dude, I was actually like I was actually pretty impressed with that Miley Cyrus album as a whole. Like, there was a lot of great songs off that, and I never really been a Miley Cyrus fan, so I felt some unexpected feelings listening to that album. I really like the song "You" especially, so yeah. Go Miley Cyrus.
I think for me, I love "On My Mama," "On My Mama," "On My Hood." That song is so good to me. Even the video is super like creative and dope to me. It's like the video is super dope. Yeah, super dope. It's like, you know, like kind of like it brings me back to like back in the day. It was like very house party-ish, how like we grew up going to parties back in the day. Like the party little by little will migrate outside, and you see a bunch of people outside after a while. So that was like super nostalgic, and it was super dope to see. I feel like a lot of people give Miley Cyrus shit, but she's very talented. She's an amazing singer.
Right. And her voice is so interesting.
Yeah, it is. It is.
It's like that kind of lower register, kind of raspy. It just has like a lot of heart and soul and feel to it. Like, yeah.
She's a super dope artist.
I was just gonna say on the Flower song, there was like an interesting kind of like retro feel to some of those I guess keys, or it was like an organ or something. I don't know, that sample in there was just like really interesting, and I think that kind of like older school influence into what she's doing now with her voice, which has kind of like a scratchy kind of vintage sounding, but also very pleasant sounding.
No, I get what you're saying. Saying. She's super dope, super talented. Flowers is a super catchy song.
Yeah.
That's been stuck in my head for the last couple of days now.
Yeah.
But I feel like Billie Eilish is gonna win that.
Yeah.
Either Billie Eilish or Taylor Swift.
Yeah. Honestly, of the two, I hope Billie Eilish wins over Taylor Swift.
I agree.
I feel like that song, it had like a nice introspective feel to it. Just like seeing the world through that song just kind of like slows things down. It's a nice filter to see the world through, and it kind of feels like a soundtrack to what's going on in your life at that time. So yeah. Whereas like Taylor Swift is, man, I feel similarly. Like I get why it's good from like a songwriter's perspective. You know, there are some Taylor Swift songs that I like, but overall it just man, kind of feels like good fast food or something. Like it's good, it works for the moment, it's delicious, but is it really feeding your soul? I don't know.
It's like Amy's fast food, right? Doesn't she have a chain? Amy's frozen food, but she's got a
Yeah,
fast food chain.
yeah.
We got
I
a
would say it's a step
perfect-
below that even, but yeah.
Oh damn,
Perfect.
hot
perfect.
take.
Tyler says Taylor Swift is equivalent to McDonald's.
The dollar menu version.
The dollar menu version. Teaser alert, dude.
Dude, that's so
Teaser
funny.
alert.
But dude, at the same time, we haven't talked about SZA, and Kill Bill was a really good song too.
Yeah.
And I feel like her singing and rapping blend is probably, in my opinion, the best out from a mainstream perspective. Like she does it so well. And I think this song in particular was like a pretty basic sounding instrumental, but just let her vocals just like completely like burst through.
Yeah.
And I thought that was like, do I think it's gonna win? Who the fuck knows? But I also think that's a really, really good song.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, man. Her voice is like so effortless and soulful, and the way she attacks the track. Just- yeah, big fan. I don't know 100% about this particular song. If I don't really think it's my favorite of the list, or I don't really. I mean, it could win. I mean, she's up for 9. Like, she's definitely a Grammy favorite this year. But if I was to make a prediction about one that would win, I want to say maybe "Worship" by John Batiste. I just feel like it has,
win.
yeah, to win. I just
Nice.
I feel like he's kind of having a moment right now with the documentary that just came out, produced by the Obamas. He's on like a lot of people's minds right now, as are the rest of these. But I just think that song has like it's really interesting and unique the way it switches up from the beginning. It also has like a really positive, inclusive message, one that I feel like people who are deciding the Grammys can get behind and feel really good about. So yeah, I would like to see Flowers, or I mean, honestly, even What Was I Made For by Billie Eilish, but I feel like Worship.
Oh my god. No, you're right. It is a good song. It's a
or
good song.
On My Mama. I want to see Victoria Monet clean up, but I also wish it was a different song. But yeah,
I agree with that. Like I think it's a good song. And to your point too, Quez, about like the visuals, I thought it was like really spot on. But I don't think it was like a super standout track to me, given like all her, all the other stuff that she's put out and has. So yeah, I would have wished it was a different selection for her there. But I'm just it's cool that she's nominated, and like it's also kind of weird to see her in like a Best New Artist category. I know that's just how it works with the Grammys, but it's kind of weird seeing that.
I mean, she'll probably get Best New Artist, right? If she's up for Record of the Year. Like none of the other Best New Artists are up for Record of the Year, Song of the Year, or Album of the Year, right?
I don't think so. I think it's just her. Yeah.
Yeah.
And question 2 for you guys, because I'm kind of new to John Batiste. When did you guys start listening to him? When did you first hear his name? Like, I'm super new. Like, I saw his documentary. I didn't see it, but I saw it. Like, I'm going to watch it, but I saw that a couple weeks ago. Just started to kind of listen to music a couple weeks ago. So I'm like super late to the train. So I'm curious how late I am, and it sounds like I'm pretty late. So,
Dude,
I'll
how
let you guys-
dare you? Are you serious?
Let me just stop the podcast right now.
Dude, what?
am I that late?
Dude, I'm super late too. I just
No,
got
yeah.
onto it the other day.
No, likewise. Like he's been on my radar for a minute, but like I haven't listened to a bunch of his stuff. I know that he's been in the scene for a while and has been like slowly bubbling and building, and just one of those like virtuoso piano players, like almost like a John Legend type, where it's just like his voice is as good as his piano playing and vice versa. So it's just, yeah.
Did you guys see the documentary, or
I haven't watched it yet.
no? We should watch it and talk about it in like a later ep.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so like, what if you guys had to pick one? And sorry if I missed this. Like, what would it be?
So pick the selection
Yeah, for Record of the Year,
for Record of the Year.
or Song of the Year. Although, so the difference is basically like Record of the Year is for the artist, producers, whereas Song of the Year is like for the songwriter. So I think there was only a couple songs that were on Song of the Year that weren't on Record of the Year. I think one of them was the Dua Lipa song from Barbie. So feel free to include those extra two also.
I'm gonna put my money on Miley Cyrus with Flowers.
Okay.
That's gonna be my vote.
I think I'm gonna do Kill Bill by SZA.
Oh, nice.
Okay.
And then
Nice.
Ty, you said Worship.
Yeah. Right. So we'll have to check back in next podcast and see who the lucky winners were and figure out a prize or something.
Definitely.
So yeah, is there any other like notable Grammy stuff you guys want to talk about before we wrap this up?
I think one other selection that I was kind of happy to see, even though they generally clean up or nominated pretty consistently, is the Foo Fighters. They put out the album last year, kind of all around the passing of their drummer Taylor Hawkins. So I think it was like a really deep, sensitive, emotional album that I think kind of deserves a win in that kind of lane. And also, not just from the nature of it, but I also think just the songs were really great and it sounded good. And yeah, so I was happy to see them nominated there, and I hope they pull that one for, I think it's best rock album.
Yeah, dude, I'm so glad you brought up Foo Fighters, man. I'm really happy to see them on the list too. I'm just such a big fan, and I'm glad we didn't leave them out of this Grammy conversation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Queens of the Stone Age. It's cool to see them nominated. Metallica was kind of cool. Yeah, just still sounding so crispy and driving and so Metallica. It's like,
dude, they're never going away. I feel like Metallica is just limitless.
It's crazy to see Olivia Rodrigo on like the best rock song category with these like huge rock bands. Also, like, I mean, she is rock, and I like respect the songs and her so much. Like, I think they are really good songs and really good songwriting, but it's just interesting. You know?
Yeah. It's like a little like fish out of water almost.
It's like Foo Fighters, Metallica, Queens of the Stone Age, Olivia Rodrigo.
What is she considered? Is she considered rock? Her genre?
I mean, well, she's nominated for Best Rock Song this year with I forget the name of the song, but I think it's more pop rock.
Yeah, I would say like indie pop or something.
Yeah,
like pop rock kind of thing.
I mean, it does have that like heavy guitar sound, but I don't really know if a heavy guitar sound all of a sudden makes you
rock
eligible for like the Grammy in the rock category.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of hip hop songs that have heavy guitar in them too.
Right.
Like Coi Leray had a song. Is that how you say her name?
Yeah.
Coi Leray had a song on her album that I was just listening to that's like a heavy rock song with like rap over it, but she's not in the rock category. She's in the hip hop category. Dude, Olivia Rodrigo should stay in the pop category.
You know, Coi Leray performed at one of the Late to the Parties.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
When we were there?
Yeah, I have a flyer.
No way.
Yeah, I have a flyer when she's listed on the flyer, Coi Leray.
No way.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Damn. Dude. Wow. So
she's
she's blown
massive
up since then.
Oh, dude, she's massive. Another artist which I'm like kind of excited about too. Like she's super dope.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. That's
Dude.
awesome.
Yeah, she's like fucking smooth, man.
Oh yeah.
Like,
oh yeah.
Yeah, like real lyrical prowess.
Yeah. She's dope. Her whole like, you know, her whole look, her whole like character. She's super dope. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I gotta listen to more of her stuff.
The women are dominating.
That's the thing, man.
Shout out to the women. Yeah,
And the yodelers.
Yodelers need to step it up a little bit, but they have domination potential.
Yeah. Strong potential.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. So anyway, I think we're at 50, almost 55 minutes here, so we can kind of wrap it up. In the next podcast, we can kind of follow up with some of the outcomes of what we've been talking about. But it's fun to talk to you guys about like your thoughts and your perspectives. So yeah, awesome. Thanks for chatting.
Yeah, awesome guys.
Thank
Thanks
you
for
guys,
listening,
man.
and great like prompt too, just to like
Good job.
dive into this and get into the nitty gritty. It was fun.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah. Happy to do it. All right, guys, have a good one.
All right, peace, guys.
Peace.
Bye.
All right, guys, thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Just a reminder that you can follow us on all social media platforms and streaming services. Just search for our band's name, Graffiti Royale. Our theme song for this podcast is called Let It Go by us, and this episode was mixed by Jeremy Scott. Till next time.